Yeah, that's right.
Hey guys,
Hey, everybody.
welcome to Facebook Live and YouTube Live and Instagram Live and wherever else we are broadcasting on the interwebs. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to do some updated tool introduction, training stuff, tips on how to make your repairs go faster. So if you're with us, please say hello, tell us where you're from, that you're joining us. Actually, I'm going to click on the comments here so we can actually see that while we're going. I think most of you have probably been introduced to Mike before. Mike is our East Coast sales rep.
That's right. Yeah, good to see everybody. Yeah, it's great to be here with Shiloh, and we're pretty excited to roll something out for you. I don't want to tell you too much, but yeah, my name's Mike. I'm the East Coast sales rep from the East Coast, from Massachusetts, living here in Bend, Oregon. And yeah, we're just spreading the Glasswell love all over the internet today.
Sweet. The East Coast guy is a legit East Coast guy. I still have yet to have to see whether you have that Boston accent. Is it Boston or Baston?
Yeah. Occasionally, when I'm having a couple of drinks, it'll come out.
It comes back.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us. Again, please say hello. Hey to Sean from Calgary. Poor Mike over here has a light blinding in his eyes, so he's trying to read the computer screen while we do this. But hey, we're excited today. As Mike alluded to, we have an updated tool that we are launching that's currently available on our website. And we want to show you some practical ways to use that tool. In fact, 4 different ways to use that tool to speed up your repairs, to improve their quality. And there's just a lot of benefits to this. We're hitting that time of year, this spring, where there's more and more windshields are cracking out. More people are becoming aware of the rock chips that are on their windshield. As the snow and ice melts, the rocks that are on the road are becoming more prevalent. Therefore, the number of rock chips are going up. We're seeing that as a trend here. I'm sure your customers are experiencing that too, right?
Yeah, it's everybody I talk to is just getting into their peak season. It seems like as soon as spring kicks in, everybody gets busier.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So we want to give you some ways to speed up your process. I'll say something in Spanish real quick here. José Alonso, buenas tardes. Gracias por acompañarnos. Hoy vamos a introducir un nuevo herramienta. Mucho tiempo sin hablar español. Pero saludos. We'll try to mix in a little bit of Spanish here and there as we can. So we're going to be showing you a new tool, how to use it, the 4 benefits. Again, tell us that you're with us. Say hello. Again, I'm Shiloh with Glasswell. You've probably seen me on some of the YouTube videos that we do, training tips, etc. We've been a little quiet on that front, but that's not because we haven't been busy. We've just been busy behind the scenes. So get ready for a potential deluge of Glasswell content over the next few months. We've just been working on some big things that take some time. So that's probably why you haven't seen us as frequently as often, but we have not slowed down. If anything, we've sped up, but some things have to be done a little more incognito for a little while. So some exciting stuff coming. Mike, talk to us a little bit about you. You talk to customers every day that do rock chips, either for a living or as a side hustle or as part of another service. Like, what are some of the things that we find that people struggle with? Even though they're using the best tools and the best resin, like there's always going to be times where you're going to struggle with certain things. What are some of those things?
So what I hear a lot from folks that I'm talking to is people are always trying to find ways to be more efficient and do their repairs quicker, while at the same time maintaining quality. So yeah, basically efficiency is huge. And then some particulars, you get a lot of questions about, for instance, like star brakes that have really tight legs and how to get those legs to fill with resin more efficiently. We hear about that. A lot of questions about moisture. There's a lot of mobile guys working outside. If it happened to rain early in the day, something like that, is there going to be moisture present in the rock chip? And is that going to, be a problem? So those are definitely some key questions I'm hearing from people when I'm talking to them. So just efficiency, speed, and getting the resin into the tight, legs on a star brake, and also questions about moisture in a rock chip.
Yeah. And then I think that one of the other ones too, at least that drives me nuts, is like when I do a perfect repair, or I should say, it used to drive me nuts. I do a perfect repair inside the repair, but then the impact point is less than desirable. Let's put it that way. So we're going to show you everything that Mike just mentioned today. We're going to show you how to use this tool to be able to speed up or solve some of those problems as mentioned. So, and yes, Ross, you asked the question, is it going to be available in the UK? It already is available in the UK, so you should be good to go there. Walter, hello, saludos, buenas tardes. Again, tell us you're joining us, guys. So we're about to introduce this updated tool, which we think it's a really significant upgrade. And by updating it and improving it, we've been able to actually add an additional feature to it as well that will be really useful. Okay, so we're going to go into it. So it is a new multi-purpose drill. Now, it sounds really simple on the surface, but this has some really amazing functionality to it. And so I'm going to pull it out here and show you what comes inside. So when you get the box, you're going to have the new multi-purpose drill. I'm going to bring this close to the camera so you guys can see it. Nice, compact, robust, has 5 or 6 speeds on it. If you've used our previous ones, this has a lot more power. It's a lot more durable. It's a lot more robust. So it's got some additional functionality that we're going to show you today on how to use it. It also has a USB-C rechargeable. So it's going to power up faster. It's going to last longer. And again, it's just way more durable and way more powerful. Hey, Bill, good to see you, buddy. Been a long time. I hope you're doing well. Hey, Steve, good to see you too. Thanks for joining us, guys. Okay, so this new version of the multi-purpose drill is going to be able to do some additional things. So let's walk you through what is included in it. You notice on here I already have one of the polishing corks. Now this polishing cork has 3 purposes. The first is that it allows us to get a much better sheen on the pit polish. So when you get done with that impact point, we want it to look as close to glass as possible. This little guy does that. The second is that it allows you to do a massaging technique on the inside to help the legs fill more quickly. Now, do not confuse that with creating heat. This is not about creating heat when we're trying to get a leg to fill. We're going to put it on 1, and I promise you there will be no tangible heat created through that process. So it's not about closing the legs up artificially. It's about using vibration to create, to force the resin to flow more readily. And then thirdly, this little pit polish, we're going to show you how to use it to do a moisture evaporation as well. So that's going to be fun to show you. And then inside this pack here, Mike, maybe you've talked to people that sometimes when they're using this tool, they wonder, how can they use it in tight areas? Can maybe you talk to them about what we'd use that guy for?
Yeah, so this guy here, you got this nice little ball cork, more or less, this circular cork. And with this, if you have a rock chip that's right on the edge, on the inside of the windshield where the dash meets the glass, you can get this little guy in there and use these techniques that Shiloh's talking about, even right up against the corner of the windshield.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, so we've got the 2 corks that are going to come in this pack, as well as there's 2 different collets. So of course it can be used for the traditional method of drilling. You'll see that I have one here already set up with a drill bit in it for you. So this tool is also going to be a lot more powerful for drilling. I'm going to show you real quick how to use this tool. So it's real simple. I'll just show you here kind of up close. When we turn it on, it'll default to like 2 or 3, and then you can turn it down. So at 1, that's the level we would do a massaging technique at. If you're doing drilling, maybe 3 or 4, a little more speed, especially if you're experienced with that. And then for pit polishing, it would also be 1 or 2. So that's kind of just the basics on how to use it for that. And then for moisture evaporation, again, it would be back up to 3, 4, or 5. So I'll turn it off here with this switch, and you got this lock piece right here. The lock piece just allows you to change the chuck, the collet, or what's in there. So there's also a little included wrench. You just put that on there, hold the lock down, and you can spin that left or right to loosen it and swap those out. Now, what we see that a lot of customers do with this, or even with the older version, is that they'll have a couple of them. Especially if you drill often, you might want to consider having one set up with your drill bit, one set up with your polishing cork. And that way you're just, able to quickly move through the process without changing collets between repairs. All right, so we are going to, we forgot to mention drill bits are not included in this pack. So you do need drill bits separately. So we showed you the basics of the 4 or 5 different speeds. So longer runtime, USB-C charging, obviously new look, way more robust, more durable, a little bit heavier, but still really lightweight and really mobile. So we're going to go ahead and show you the 3 functions here live. And I'm going to scroll down the comments here and see if I see anything. I don't want to make sure that I'm not missing anybody's comments or questions. Again, let us know that you're with us. Let us know if you have any questions. If we can catch your question live on the fly here, we'll be happy to answer it. All right. So, Mike, we have a nice little star break here, right? So we'll go ahead and just kind of probe out the tip. Now, for those of you drilling, I'm going to show you just real quick how you can use this to drill. I mean, this is pretty obvious if you're drilling already. As you guys probably already know here at Glassweld, we don't recommend drilling as like a core technique, but we know that there are many of you that are experienced that do use drilling on a regular basis. So I'm just going to show you really quick how to do that. So I would turn it on. I'd leave it on at least, it starts off at 3. I'd leave it about there. You always want to hold it with 2 hands. And then like, I'll just do a little drill hole on this one. I personally prefer to drill less directly, more sort of indirectly. Again, 2 hands and kind of just almost like we're cleaning out the pit. So sometimes when you see people do drilling technique, what they do is they take the drill and they go directly in. The problem with that is it's risky, but it's also really susceptible to creating that little like tunnel effect on a repair where no matter what you do, you've probably seen that before, where you get to the end and it's like, man, I did a great repair, but can you get rid of that little tunnel thing?
It's still there. Yeah. You're still looking at it.
Exactly. So that little just kind of going from an angle. But I mean, that was only on 3. So imagine if you're experienced, you can go all the way up to 5 with your drilling technique, and it'll be really efficient. If you're new to drilling, I would recommend starting at even 2 or 3. But it's got plenty of power to do that, really efficient to use. So we'll put that to the side here. And now we're gonna go ahead and load our injector here. We've got a star break set up right here that you probably can't see too well with this one camera angle, but I'm gonna go ahead and just show you how you can use this. So we'll go ahead and start a repair here. And we're gonna put this in here. Sorry, Mike, if I'm blocking you.
It's okay.
Just make sure that we're directly over the impact point. Looks about right. And then we're gonna do that 1 click, just like so, and pull our vacuum and let that sit for a minute. I'll double check it from the inside. Man, I got it right on the money the first time. Yeah, okay, great. So now that we're under a vacuum here, what I wanna show you is we're gonna go ahead and just let it sit there for like 10 or 15 seconds. I'm gonna show you how to use this pit polishing cork with this star break to really speed up the repair process. So I'm gonna quick and check the messages here. Looks like, oh, okay. Greg asked a really good question. What's the biggest advantage? The more power and more durability means that you can use it for more things. So it's going to be faster for doing a pit polish. It's going to be faster for doing your little massaging technique. But most importantly, it's going to allow you to do moisture evaporation, which the old tool just simply couldn't do. It didn't have enough power, enough torque to be able to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a quick second. And then Ross, oh, is this it? Let's see, there's OCD detailer. Can you repair a chip that was done and showed up again a few years later? You technically can, but you're never going to get a perfect result. You kind of would have to open it up, pop a little bullseye, and try to repair it again. All right, so we're going to go ahead and inject resin. And then we'll just let the resin start to flow here. And I can see the resin starting to flow, but if I'm in a hurry or it's cold outside or I've got a tight repair, I'm sure you've seen those before. What are some of the ways that traditionally we would try to get this repair to move along?
Well, you can flex it, of course, right? Some of the real old school guys will use a torch or a lighter, right, for that purpose.
Yeah.
Which I know we don't really recommend.
Yeah.
but yeah, and this is the technique that I've been recommending, which you're about to show us here. This is the best way, I think, to do it. screwed it up.
And the probing, there's really nothing wrong with, but there is a risk when you probe, of course, that when you're using a probe on a leg, if you put too much pressure, it's pretty easy to run a leg a little too far and it kind of spreads on you. So this technique I'm going to show you. Now, this is really important because what I don't want to give the impression is that we're going to use friction to cause these legs to fill or cause them to close out. That is not the intended purpose of this tool at all, which is possible. If I turn this on and crank it up to 4 or 5, that would definitely happen. That is not the intent here because we want a rock solid repair that's going to last and it's going to look just as good today as it does, a week from now. So we're going to drop it all the way down to 1. All we need, you can hear that low vibration. That low vibration is just what we need to get that resin to flow really quickly without any heat, any tangible amount of heat. It might go up 5 or 6 degrees, but not not sufficient enough to actually expand the glass. Let me show you how to do that. So go on the inside here of the windshield and just start in the middle. Maybe Mikey, you can kind of tell them how we do this technique-wise.
So Shiloh starts right in the middle, and he's moving the cork up and down, sort of up and down the legs of the star brake that we want to fill.
Yep. So you kind of like go around each leg, almost like you're painting from the inside to the outside. And each leg like 5 or 6 seconds.
And as he does that, he's like, it's massaging the resin sort of into the cracks.
Yeah, and I just put my hand on there. There's no tangible heat whatsoever. So that little bit of vibration, what it did is in a matter of 10 seconds, basically filled all those legs almost simultaneously without any risk of probing, without any risk of heating, without creating that artificial impact that you get when you heat a repair, which causes it to look better temporarily, but not long term. So he says, I think it was Greg or Grand, says how much pressure? Basically none. You don't want any pressure. The purpose of this is just vibration. So pressure is really not what we're trying to do. So yeah, you just basically light pressure, like just enough to kind of create that vibration. I mean, I'd say like half of the pressure you would put of like pressing an elevator button, like that little amount of pressure. You're just almost like, picture that my finger is the crack, from my knuckle forward, I'm kind of painting forward to the end of the leg. You do that 2 or 3 times on each leg, and then the resin just flows right out to the end. So it's a pretty phenomenal technique to speed up your repairs, and it helps to get like the resin into all those little micro cracks that sometimes are hard to get the resin to flow into. So it'll actually improve the visibility of your repairs too. So we'll pull one quick more vacuum here, and then we'll go ahead and inject. I'll let that do that one more time. I'm going to do a sped up version. It already looks really good, doesn't it?
It looks great. Yeah, and those were really tight. It was a classic star brake that had those little super tight legs that can be problematic. And when Shiloh got back there with the tool and did the massage technique, I mean, those legs filled within 10 seconds.
I think I threw my little towel away here. I had a little towel that I was going to use. I'm going to grab some water real quick because I want to show you guys the next technique.
Let's see if I can read some of these comments here.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you the second technique you can do with this. This is a wet paper towel. I just soaked it with water, and I'm going to come up to this repair up here at the top, if you guys can see that, and I'm going to just soak it with water. Mike, can you see all the water inside of that repair now?
Yep.
So let's say it's just been raining out all day long, and so we'll just kind of clear that off. Now I'm going to show you how you can use this tool as a moisture evaporator as well. Now this is something that the previous version of this definitely could not do. So we'll put our stand on. We're going to grab our Zoom injector, which creates a massive vacuum. Drop your white seal in. Whoops. I'm sure you guys have done that a million times.
I know it's kind of
hard to do
with gloves on sometimes.
Perfect. Okay. So no resin, none at all. So just white seal, piston all the way to the bottom. So we're going to mount it right here on the surface. Make sure we're right over the impact point. Click it once or twice. Make sure we got a good seal. Pull your vacuum. If you want, sometimes you get a stronger vacuum on the second one. So if you want to cycle it through one time, even though you're not actually injecting anything, you can do that too. So pull our vacuum. Okay, right there. Boom. So now we're in a high vac state, right? So the high vacuum state, what that does is it drops the boiling point of water. It's like if you boil water here in Bend, it's what, 330 degrees or whatever to boil water. But if you go to the top of Mount Everest, I think it's 120 degrees, roughly 125 degrees, you can boil water because there's less oxygen. So now we have deprived this break of oxygen. So now I'm going to show you how to use this same little tool to create enough heat and friction on the inside to help push that moisture out through that vacuum, dropping the boiling point down so that the evaporation can occur. So what we're going to do, we're just going to turn it up to about 3 or 4. And now I'm going to show you how to do this on the inside. So right over the impact point, and just kind of back and forth across the repair for about 15 seconds. So you want to kind of cover the whole repair area. And with this, we do apply a little bit more pressure. Okay. All right. So all I did there, just to give you a close-up view, is come right back and forth over the repair, kind of pass all the legs like this, up and down and back and forth. What that'll do is it'll get the glass up to in about, 15 seconds to roughly 125 degrees, 130 degrees, somewhere in there. Now that combination of high vibration, and in this case, yes, heat, is going to close those legs up, but that's intentional now. Because what we're doing is we're closing those legs up. We're using heat to evaporate the moisture. What we're not going to do is we're not going to go ahead and repair this at this point. We're going to let it sit for 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 or 6 even, until the glass cools all the way back down to an ambient temperature. Then we pull this off and we start our repair, which allows the glass to return to its normal state without being heated so we can fill it properly. So that's kind of a really cool technique, really simple on the fly. So you probably talk to a lot of customers this time of year in the springtime that run into moisture when they're doing repairs.
Yeah, and it's a concern, especially with new, guys that are, or people I should say, that are new to it, that are like, well, I'm in Georgia and it rains all the time in the spring. Can I do these repairs? Mobile, can I get around and do these repairs? And with this technique, I mean, that solves that problem right there.
Yeah, it speeds it way up.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave that under the vacuum. Meanwhile, this repair I'm sure is looking really good. I'll double check it, but it looks pretty solid to me. Maybe I'll hit it one more time real quick on the inside. On one. There we go. Perfect. We had one little tiny spot that looked like it was still not completely filled. So now we're going to just back off the resin pressure a little bit, put our curing light on, our ProCure light on there, plug our ProCure light in, and get that rolling. Okay, so now we're going to go and cure this, and we'll show you the last technique as soon as this is done on how to go ahead and do the pip polish side of things. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and check our questions here. Some really good questions. Okay, so just real quick, one of the questions was about if there's any promotions or pricing on the kit. This tool, I believe, is what, $54.95 with
Correct.
the supplies?
Yep.
Includes the attachments, so you can use it for those 4 different things: drilling, pip polishing, massaging, and moisture evaporation. So there you go. There's the 4 different solutions. But what is the promotion this month? We're including this in one of our entry-level kits, right?
That's right. Yeah, with any purchase of an essential kit, which the essential kit usually does not come with a drill. So yeah, the promotion we're running through the end of this month is purchase of an essential kit. You get the drill included with the kit. So,
and I believe that applies even to like certified techs too. That
Correct.
Has a certified discount. They still get that promotion.
Correct.
Cool. So yeah, and I'm going to say just a few words in Spanish. We have a lot of our friends here that are joining us in Spanish, and then we'll finish this up. Gracias por acompañarnos. Perdón que todo está en inglés, pero para que sepan, ese nuevo herramienta tiene 4 funciones. uno como con la broca para abrir un impacto. El segundo es con el coche para dar un poco de masaje para las fisuras, para que la resina corre más rápido. Y el tercero es para calentar, pero solo con la función de evaporar la humedad en un piquete. Y por último, para pulir el impacto final. Entonces, tiene 4 funciones para aumentar la rapidez en la que usted puede hacer una reparación de alta calidad con esta herramienta y los accesorios que vienen junto con ella. Perdón, mi español falta mucho, pero gracias por escuchar. So, all right, let's pull this to the side and we'll go ahead and finish this off. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this guy off. We'll back off the pressure. Oops, rolling stuff. No white seals were harmed in the making of this video. Okay, so we have an awesome looking repair here. What do you think, Mike?
Oh yeah, that looks great.
So we'll throw our pit filler on there. Where did it go? There it is. I lost it. There it is. And that had some big legs, didn't it?
Yeah, and they were very tight
Noticeable.
and like very noticeable. And yeah, that technique took care of them so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, in the old days, when you would do a repair like that, you'd have to hold each leg with a probe, sometimes for a minute, 2 minutes plus. And that's all time that you as a technician lose doing other things. You know, you could be scheduling your next job. You could be restoring headlights. You could be doing another repair. You could be, I mean, there's any number of things. And that's really how you scale your business, is by being able to do multiple services at one time. This tool allows you to do that because with that 15 seconds of massaging, you did what once would have taken you 10, maybe 15 minutes to fully fill a tight break like that. So we're always looking for ways to try to make things easier for you as technicians. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pop this to the side, put this over here, scrape this off. I have the bad habit, like many of us do, of using way too much pit filler sometimes. So we're just gonna keep going until all we have is that little impact point at the end. Now, if you're like me, this used to be my biggest frustration when I would do a repair. I get to the end and I'm like, I know I did a perfect repair, but then why doesn't my pit look as good as the inside of the repair itself? And so we developed this technique because we really wanted to improve that. And then these other kind of ideas came about through this tool. So let me show you what we would do with this. Oh man, I'm losing it again. Where was it? Here, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's a good repair when you can't find
And
it.
you gotta look for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so one little tiny drop. Now with this one again, we don't want too much heat because this the resin, we don't want to heat it up. It's just cured. So we want to just turn it on and 1 or 2. 2 or 1, either one. I wouldn't go above 2 though when you're doing this because you might actually start to remove some of the pit filler. So I'm just gonna put my back here to Mike real quick. Go real flat on the surface and go back and forth over the impact point. Basically until you see, I'm actually gonna drop it all the way down to 1. I think that's probably the best bet. Until basically you see the pit polish just kind of dry up. And once it's dry, then I'll stop. How's it look, Mike?
It looks really good. I mean, when you're looking at it straight on, you can barely see it.
Yeah. And we had legs running all the way out to about the size of a quarter on that one. But the pit is amazing. Like it's probably 95% of the sheen of glass. So it really blends in as compared to typical techniques. All right, so now we've shown you that 4th technique. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish what I showed you here. Now in the meantime, this glass is cooled all the way back down with that moisture evaporation. So all we would do is just pull our zoom injector off. You can probably hear that hissing sound. That's the sound of that vacuum. And so all I would do now is just take a little Q-tip, make sure there's no moisture in that lower chamber, load my resin, and then start this repair. And I don't know, you guys probably won't be able to see this because of how far away the camera is here. But that repair, when we started, was full of water. It looked like it almost had been partially repaired because you could see the water moving around. Now that water is gone and you can start the repair. So in 3 or 4 minutes, you can go from having to say no to a job to being, yeah, no problem. If you have 2 injectors too, you could always set up one here as a moisture evaporator with that tool, go do another repair, come back, ready to operate on it. Okay, so
Efficiency.
yeah,
Very efficient.
so let's talk through the 4 functions one last time if we could.
So first function, the filling cracks with the massage technique on the inside.
On speed number,
We want to do that on what, 2 or 3? No, 1.
1 or 2.
1, yeah. You just because you don't want to raise the
low vibration.
yeah, low vibration, 1 or 2, under 3.
Yeah, and then the next function would be doing the pit polishing like we just showed you. That one you can do 1 or 2. And then for moisture evaporator, I think we said, what, 3 or 4, right?
3 or 4,
As far as
yeah,
heat.
to get the heat.
And then, of
Bring the
course,
heat up.
the last and traditional thing is just using it as a drill, which that's where you would be at that 3 or 4 range. If you're just joining us now, thank you for joining us. Go back and watch the rest of this. We showed some really practical techniques that we hope will really help you. Just speed up your repairs, make more money, do more work, have happier customers. Not only will this tool help you to speed up your repairs and do more work, but it'll actually improve your repair quality, both on the pit fill on the end, also as far as being able to fill the legs more effectively. It's also a lot safer because you're not probing on a repair on a hot day and having the risk of, a leg running. So really recommend that you check out this new tool from Glasswell. Mike, tell them one last time what the promotion is for this month, if you would.
So for the rest of this month, with the purchase of an essential kit, you get the drill for free, the drill and multi-purpose tool, I should say. And that's for new folks as well as certified techs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so give Mike a call, Mike Gibbons, shoot him an email, hit him up on the chat. We're all here to help you answer any questions that you might have about this tool or any of the other products. Also, like and subscribe to our page. I alluded to this earlier in the video. We have been a little quiet on YouTube lately, and it is not for lack of work behind the scenes. It's just we have a lot of stuff that we've been working on, bigger projects that we're going to introduce to you soon. So you'll want to be attentive to that. Some really game-changing stuff for windshield repair, headlight restoration, and other stuff. So just stay tuned to the Glasswell channels for new techniques, new tools, new tips coming all in the next few months. Did we cover it all?
I think so.
Awesome.
I think we did.
Thank for your help, Mike. Thank you, everybody,
Thank you, Shiloh,
for joining us, and we appreciate it. Thanks gracias a nuestros amigos de Latinoamérica y España también. Thank you for your patience with us, and we appreciate everybody chiming in the comments. We'll look forward to any further questions that you have. Feel free to leave them even after this video too, and we'll jump on answering those as quickly as we can. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you.